Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs, gundamreviews.net, with Gunpla reviews and, of course, anime reviews. This being Monday night, and Gundam Build Fighters, the newest episode has just aired, and it's time to introduce, no, not this guy, but instead, yes, Lego Iori and Reiji. So, of course, when I did the Gundam Age reviews, I was using the advanced grades to represent the characters, the people, and, of course, the high grades to represent the mobile suits. But I figured it's time to mix things up a little bit. Lego fans, maybe you'll recognize the shirts out there. Could have gone closer in terms of design, but I figured, yes, space and ADU is perfect for this so far. But enough about the Lego. On to the show with some recap. Quick recap on thoughts before it's on to the best ofs. The episode starts off in the shop where the man, the myth, the legend, Rambaral here in his classic Futuron Goof Blue is going to be showing up and talking like he did back in the day. How this is no collection and how he'll show you one properly. And some of the faces that we just get to see between Iori and the mom, just priceless. And then it's going to be on to the little details that they've been including so well in the show. As this week's new character, Mao, is going to be showing up in front of a renewed Tokyo station looking absolutely fantastic. Check it out in my One Japan videos if you're interested. And we get to see some more talk about Reiji and Sei talking about a rematch with Yuki Tatsuya. The consequences just feel like they're sort of amped up this week compared to last week, where they're just meeting an idol. And the issue, of course, is going to be coming down to confidence, and you've got to wonder about the dad issues in there as well. But then it's off to a cafe as Sei is going to be hearing different things, as Yuki's voice is going to be flashing in the background, and those words that we all know so well. But ultimately, we are going to get a new friend for Iori, as the mom is sure they're going to become, and sure enough they are. But what a way to get there, as Mao is going to raise his hand up in the air, and he's just going to go off total G Gundam style. And after we get some battles with the Wing versus the V Gundam piloted by Reiji, we're going to be getting a lot of fun as Mao and Iori show off their gunpla to each other with a build strike, going up against the new Gundam X Mao, and it's time for a Wild West shootout, as they both look to draw not a pistol, but instead their best gunpla, and as we zip off into space, love it, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Kira versus Garrett, and with the power of their imaginations, we get to see the satellite cannon, and it's going to be, what happened to the build strike? Well, all of a sudden he was able to dodge, and Reiji comes out with even more rage, before the power of the imagination is brought to a sudden halt by the power of an adult. Rambaral saying this is not the place for it. Instead, take it all out on the better thing. And after some more scenes moving on, overall, there was a lot of good things to talk about this episode. M is with me again. M, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Alright, so let's get down to the of the weeks. Let's start with character. A few new ones introduced, some old ones. Who was your favorite this week?
Okay, this week is, for me, definitely the new character, Mao.
Was it a boy or a girl?
I think it's a boy.
I think it's a boy too.
According to the name. And also, it's, the part of the reason why I chose him is because of his mobile suits. It's named Mao. Actually, at the beginning, I thought it was just because of the King of Devil. But now I know the real reason why it's called Mao, because this is his name.
Yes, and
it's named after him.
So anytime, I guess we can start putting Iori after things like the build strike.
Yeah.
I liked him as well. He was a fun character, and he had some great parts when he did the Domon thing. That was just absolutely awesome. Right. But for me, I'm going to go in a slightly different direction. Up a mountain, in fact, with the Shisho, the master. And they got to the top, and I said, oh, it's going to be Master Asia. And then it wasn't. It just looks like some generic old guy. Right. And then all of a sudden the voice came out, and he scolded him just like Domon got scolded. Yeah. And I said, this is a guy that I'd like to see more of. And memories of every martial arts movie ever, but for me, a good thing. So, two good new characters this week.
Yeah, I think so.
Look who's on surprise here for MS of the week. M, what's your pick?
Okay, so of course I'm gonna pick Gundam X Mao.
And there are lots of good reasons for that.
Yeah.
What did you think? The satellite cannon, pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised that it's gonna actually use it.
Yeah, because
in the first time it showed up.
Yeah, because back in trying to remember in Gundam X, I think he used the satellite cannon for the first time in episode 2.
Yeah.
And then he just stopped using it, and then we got the divider. So I figured, it was the kind of thing when he showed up, well, is he going to have a satellite cannon? It's on the gunpla. but then maybe he'd deploy it, in the World Championship or something. Instead, just with their imagination,
Right.
they go and pull it off. But it looked really cool. I liked the custom colors.
Right, and also the explanation is, at least it sounds quite reasonable, because they're actually using the Plavsky Lucy to use it to make it
The particles.
kind of energy and shoot the satellite cannon.
Yeah, and it's all ridiculous, but you know what? When they're wearing Garrett Rand's shirt, that's enough for me. So let's see. For me, MS of the week, I'm going to have to go with this. Yes, it's going to be related to my scene of, but the Victory Gundam. Yes, when Reiji was piloting it, we had a bad arm, but at the same time, it sat down on the cafe table, and then we got to see it in action, and we're going to be seeing it on our shelves. And HG 1144th Victory Gundam has been too long in coming, and now that it's actually going to be here and advertised on this week's show, for me, anytime I see the Victory Gundam, it's time for a happy dance. And there's too many MSs to talk about in this show, so unlike with Gundam Age, we're going to do the cameo of the week, so it's just sort of a lesser appearance out there. So M, how about you? What was your favorite not main Gundam?
Okay, so it's also related to Mao. Yeah, it showed up at the beginning, HG Kashatria. Because I didn't ever expect it that such a big MS will show up in the show, but actually it did. So that's the only reason.
Yeah, and it's cool. Did he build it in the car? Well, regardless, anyway, we got to see the Kushatria, and it's just going to make people want an MG all the more.
Right.
For me, at the end, there was some fun kits in there today. I love the S Gundam on the shelf. Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get to see some XS even more. But for me, the GPO2A, without the A, I suppose. I didn't see a bazooka. But it looked great. And if you're going to paint up a bad guy Gundam, that should be gray into Zaku green. That's appealing. And just imagine a mass-produced army of Zaku GPO2As. That's a scary thought for the Federation. Great new characters, some great old and yet new MSs, but how about the scenes, M? What impressed you? What was the best part of the show?
Okay, so I've got to say that I'm so impressed by Mao that everything I chose this week is related to him. So definitely it's the battle between Gundam X, Mao, and Bill Strike, and all the weapons.
They didn't even get into their arcade machine. Just the power of their imagination was enough to see be so impressed with each other's gunpla and the way they built it. That was a great scene, well animated, and I wanted to see more of Reiji at the end. But all of a sudden, Rambaral says, enough of that. Fight when you're supposed to. The battle was really well done for me. And I just loved the whole scene in the shop at the end with the mom looking on, talking about the father, the pride in the eyes. For me, scenes of the week, though, are all going to be comedy. I love the action at the end. The Build Strike is looking cool out there, whatever you may think of its design. But for me, my favorite scene, or my second favorite scene, was when Mao pulled out the Domon. I expected him to pull out a photo of his brother and say, "Have you seen this man? Where is he?" But instead, even better, I still don't know the Italian guy's name, the Italian champion, Wing, the pilot of Wing Fettuccini. And they showed the Wing Gundam, and they showed the face, both sides, and then they showed it exactly the way it was in the Wing opening. Love those kind of references. Love the fact that we got to see Kira's suit, his normal suit, inside the Build Strike, Garrett Rand's jacket, but the best for me, the Italian guy at a cafe hitting on a woman with a high-grade Victory Gundam.
Right. That's actually really a funny way to...
I hope somebody in Akihabara this week they find a pretty girl at a cafe and they just try it, just put a V Gundam down on the table, and in the end when the waiter said yes, she could read the air and she left. That for me was the scene of the week, and all of these things are adding up to better than last week by far. So going into next week, my faith in the show is totally renewed. Yeah, it had a little bit of a dip last week, but this week back in full form. But some big questions going forward. Em, what are you looking forward to? Okay, so at the end of the last show, well, somebody told Yuki that Yuki, it's time to give up your name and kind of reborn, and so now it's time that he didn't show up in the next battle, and then Susumu won, but without default, without even have to battle against him. So
I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going on, what's happening actually.
So what would make him throw the match? Is it Gunpla related, or is there going to be some bigger story in the real world that he's up to something? Anyway, Yuki Tatsuya, it's too good a name. He doesn't want to give it up, I'm sure. Right. Lots of questions going forward. Will Rage get his big battle? You know that we've got, 40-some episodes coming up for this all to be decided. I hope we're going to be getting 40. Anyway, everybody, Em, thanks a lot for being here. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you next week, everybody.
Yeah, see you.
Bye.